good move or bad deal. So I guess what we could do is go ahead and talk about. I see Taylor Hinds being discussed in the comment section. So I guess what we could do is talk about Taylor Hinds, right? Says there, now that the move is completed, she needs to come to Jamaica and get her passport. It's faster in Jamaica versus doing it in London. All right, so I can stick a pin in it and we can go ahead and talk about Taylor Hinds. I'm pretty sure you have seen the announcement there. Homecoming. Got two homecomings to discuss before I close off on the show. Two homecomings there for two of our players where obviously the black, gold, and green is concerned. So first up, we've got Taylor Hinds. I'm sure you guys can see this one in the comment section. I will go ahead and remove the comment temporarily. I'll bring it back soon though. I just want you guys to see everything on the screen, right? So you guys should be able to see everything now. So you already know how I'm feeling about this deal. If you know the club I support, I don't really need to say it. I'm sure you can put two and two together, but I was absolutely delighted when this one was announced, I should say. And my reason for that, it goes beyond football. I don't know how, if you're an Arsenal fan, let me know how you felt about this announcement. Let me know how you feel about the announcement, the return of Taylor Hinds. So for me, there is something incredibly symbolic about Taylor Hinds rejoining Arsenal. And for me, it just feels like it's bigger than the game itself. This is to do with a couple of the issues there that I've spoken about throughout last season's campaign, and maybe even the season before, but most certainly last season's campaign as it relates to Arsenal as a football club. It's like, a part of this announcement and the homecoming of Taylor Hinds. It kind of feels like a part of Arsenal's identity that I cherished has finally returned. Like, as I've said to you guys, I grew up seeing a club that truly celebrated diversity and representation, and that authenticity felt warm and it also felt real. But as we can see with the makeup, excluding the re-signing of Taylor Hinds, if we look at Arsenal, especially last season, I believe they put out a team photo last season and they faced some backlash for that. And you can only use your imagination as to why that is. So as I said, as it relates to the diversity, especially when we look at the things that happened last season, it kind of felt like part of their uniqueness and their dare I say, their beauty and their character has been softened, something which quite clearly cannot be overlooked. I don't really need to spell it out to you. If you've been watching Arsenal, if you've been watching them for years now, specifically, that they represent a certain type of identity and they do seem to have lost their way. But that is the reason why the signing, the re-signing, the homecoming of Taylor Hinds just feels so different. Like it's a return there that it hits home. It's a welcome return. I think it's something that the fans have most certainly been crying out for as it relates to our connection with the team. I'm not going to lie to you. I found it quite difficult to support Arsenal, especially on their women's team. And again, it comes back to the lack of diversity and representation. Looking at a team that's all white, that doesn't represent me, it's very difficult to fully support them wholeheartedly. But I think the addition of Taylor Hinds, our very own, a reggae girl, has definitely shifted that feeling. So like I said, it's a welcome homecoming. It reminded me of, again, why you started to support Arsenal. I imagine for those little girls and boys there who, are either born in Jamaica or have Jamaican heritage, this is a wonderful moment for them. This is going to make them either support Arsenal or better their support of Arsenal, because now they have someone that they can really cheer on, a bit like what we used to see of Arsenal back then, you know. And when I talk about the classic Arsenal, I'm talking about the legends, I'm talking about the connections between representation. You know, when I think of Arsenal of yesteryear, the Arsenal of yesteryear, the classic Arsenal, I'm thinking of players like your Rachel Yankee, your Anita Asante, your Alex Scott, your Dan Carter, Leanne Sanderson, those type of players. And it's so disappointing to say that we don't have more of that. Of course, I'm not saying that diversity isn't black and white. That's more that's a certainty. Like, it's not black and white, but I always scratch my head to think of, it's just far from the team that I supported, you know, the team that I loved, you know, again, growing up and seeing them play. Um and it's not as if, in terms of this country definitely has a diversity issue when it comes to black players in particular. I don't really think that's false. Yes, we have players, clubs in the WSL, top tier of women's football in England, who have diversity in their squad, and big ups to them. But nevertheless, when you look across the board, and I feel like the lower you get, you can kind of see that diversity issue there. And um uh as I was saying, that's definitely something that needs to be corrected, not just at Arsenal, but just in football in general, where like English football is concerned. But if we took it back to Arsenal and their diversity issue, it's not as if they're not a club that struggles to attract talent. That's what was so head scratching to me. And yes, we can say it's down to the former manager, because you know, managers tend to go for players that they like. You know, look at Mikel Arteta. You know, he likes to sign Spanish players. He's Spanish, you know, Spaniards signing our Spaniards, so it makes sense. But, and I'm not going to just blame the manager for that, because at the end of the day, there must have been someone at Arsenal with on the women's side of things, or where the club is concerned, that signed off on certain things. And signing players that adds to that diversity and uplift or attain your diversity shouldn't be difficult. You only have to look elsewhere. You only have to look to France. You look in the French league, you can see diversity in its numbers. It's right there in front of you. You look at Lyon, you can look at PSG. It's not that difficult to sign players that supports your diversity. Like, they're a club in North London. How can you be a all white team? That never sat well with me, and I'm so glad that they've gone out there and they've signed a player that resonates well with us, where our fan base is concerned, and most definitely where the black, gold, and green is concerned. And I think this signing here for Taylor Hinds, homecoming back to Arsenal, it's a continuation there of Reggae Girlz representation. And this is again one of the reasons why we some of the people love Arsenal. You know, we've seen it before. It's not the first time that they've signed a player there that's eligible to represent Jamaica. We've seen it from the academy through to the first team. You know, players like your Paige Bailey Gale, Vian Sampson, Jade Bailey, and also Rebecca Spencer. So this is one of the reasons why it's just that you support this club, and they lost their way. But I'm not going to keep beating them, because at least we now have a reggae girl playing for the red and white of Arsenal, red and white of North London. So I think that's enough talking for myself. Let's go ahead and look at that club announcement there. Hopefully you guys can see it in the comments section. It does say here, Taylor Hinds returns to Arsenal. Says here, we're delighted to announce the signing of Jamaica international Taylor Hinds on a permanent deal. The 26-year-old fullback returns to us for her second spell at Arsenal following the expiry of her contract with Liverpool. Taylor's Arsenal journey began with our academy at the age of 11 in 2010. Over the following 7 seasons, Taylor showed strong progression through our youth ranks, developing into a versatile player capable of playing at fullback and in midfield. One moment there, guys. Let me just change something. Just need to something quickly. Bear with me there, guys. Sorry about that. Let's continue with that. Says here, welcome back, Taylor Hinds. Taylor's break in our first team came in the 2017-2018 season, making her debut for the bench from the bench in our 7-0 League Cup win over London Bees in October 2017. A full debut followed in a 5-2 defeat of Millwall Lionesses in the same competition the following month. Taylor joined Everton on a permanent transfer in January 2018, making 30 appearances and scoring one goal across 2.5 seasons with the Toffees before crossing Merseyside to join Liverpool in July 2020. The fullback played an integral role in Liverpool's Women's Championship title in the 2021-2022 season, becoming vice captain in 2023 and helping the team secure fourth place WSL finish in 2023-2024. In total, Taylor made 131 appearances in 5 seasons of Liverpool, scoring 8 goals. Now a Jamaica international, Taylor represented England at youth level and represented England at both the U17s and U20 FIFA World Cups in 2016 and 2018, respectively. She received her first call up to the Jamaica squad in October 2024, making her debut in a friendly against France later that month. I have to stick a pin in it because it just reminds me of this comment. There's a comment there as it relates to Taylor Hinds. And yeah, I am happy, but I am also holding my horses. I don't trust Jamaica one bit. I don't know who is in charge of getting this one out over the line in terms of making sure that her paperwork and documentation is concerned, but I don't trust you. You've given me enough reason not to trust you. I mean, not too long ago we saw Mimi going over and accepting a call up there where the youth team of the USA is concerned. Again, I definitely didn't understand that one, and I'm glad that she's returned to us because, as I said, the dream, without knowing her, surely the dream is to play for Jamaica alongside her sister. And then recently, we've also seen Zoe Matthews link up with the underage group where USA is concerned as well, and we've seen Lexi. These are players who have come into the senior team for Jamaica, but then look elsewhere where country of birth is concerned and go down a lower status. We've seen Lexi as well being called to the England underage team. So there's enough examples out there for me to say, you know what, I'm going to support her either way, because she is still Jamaican. But I'm just holding my horses and saying, look, just bring those paperwork and documentation to us and let's get going. Because I've seen you guys toy with my feelings, toy with my heart more than enough times than you need to. So I'm hoping that those England girls there don't get no funny ideas. Oh, there's more than a handful of them at Arsenal, so don't get no funny ideas and just keep their paws off her. But yeah, that comment there in the comment section definitely made me laugh when I came across it, because I kind of was thinking the same thing when I was putting this one together. It's like, I'm excited, but I don't really trust Jamaica. But hopefully there's nothing there for us to worry about. So let's continue with the rest of that article there, taken from the Arsenal website. think we've got some quotes here from Taylor. I can find it. She says here that I'm proud to have signed for Arsenal. I want to push and compete and be winning trophies. She wants to win trophies. She's definitely at the right club. And that's facts. That's not me being biased. And she said this club encompasses all of that, both on and off the pitch. You can see what direction Arsenal is going in, and everyone at the club wants to win. This is a full circle moment for me, and I'm grateful to come back to a place I called home when I was younger. I can't wait to get started and step out on the pitch at the Emirates Stadium. In front of all our incredible supporters. Director of Women's Football, Claire Wheatley, said, everybody at Arsenal is thrilled to welcome Taylor back to the club where she spent several years at the start of her career. She is a player with great quality and vast experience of top level football and will be an excellent addition to our group as we aim to compete on multiple fronts next season. And the head coach, Renee, also says, we're delighted to welcome Taylor back to Arsenal. She's a versatile player who has great experience from multiple seasons in the WSL with Liverpool, where she took on a leadership role. I'm excited to get Taylor. I'm excited. I'm so excited. I can't even read properly. I'm excited to get started with Taylor on the training pitch, and I'm sure our supporters will join me in welcoming Taylor back to the club. Got some pictures there that you guys can look through before I go ahead and share my my thoughts on whether this is a good deal, bad move. Pretty sure you know where I'm going to land with this one, but I'm going to let you guys answer that one there in the comment section. All right. But before I move on, let's go ahead and look at some pictures there. It does say here the best pics from Hines' first day back at Arsenal. I'm hoping you guys can see this. And if you haven't hit the like button, stop being stingy. Go ahead and hit the like button. So the new number 24, the most successful women's club in Britain. 2 times Champions League winner. No other club in Britain can say that. I haven't even won one, let alone 2. So let's go ahead and look at Taylor Hinds' pictures. I'm gonna scroll through this one before giving you guys my opinion on the good move, bad deal. Hopefully you guys can answer that one in the comment section for me. Apparently this thing here is honey. Not really sure why. I don't know if that's for sponsorship reasons, but it's honey apparently. So I think we can maybe stick a pin in it. Should I just leave it there for you guys? Just stick a pin in it right there. Please do go ahead and hit the like button. I've been speaking with you guys for almost an hour. So I am using my time with you guys, and I do hope that you appreciate it. So where do we start in terms of let's bring back up my headline. Good moves, bad deal. Do answer this one in the comment section. I can't stop smiling because I am so happy. I'm sure you guys have figured that one out already. So to echo some of the stuff there that was said in the announcement in terms of the club announcement, that is just to reiterate some of the stuff there that was said. She's obviously returning. It's a homecoming returning. So what that means is she's returning to her roots quite clearly. Came through the Arsenal Academy, and it's as they said in black and white on the club's website, it's a full circle moment there in her career. And she's joining Arsenal, where she's joining one of the most successful clubs in world football there, not just in where men's football is concerned, but obviously where women's football is also concerned. No other club in Britain's more successful than them. I've already spoken to you guys about their illustrious trophy cabinet. And don't worry, any excuse I have to look at that trophy cabinet, or believe me, we're going to be looking at it. Don't you worry about that. So she's joining a club there with top honors to their names, honors that no other British club has won. And we're going to be looking at that in a short while, including obviously the WSL title and the Champions League. So no disrespect to Liverpool, her former club, but this puts her in a higher chance of winning major honors than if she were to stay at Liverpool. It's not about being biased, it's just the facts speak for themselves. How does this benefit us and the player? Pending that we get those passport and documentation over the line. Someone get on your bike, please. There is obviously going to be increased competitiveness and exposure where the player is concerned. As I said, Arsenal, one of the leading forces there in women's football, known for their high standards from decades upon decades. If you check your facts, some of your favorite footballers there, where particularly where English football is concerned, they've come through that Arsenal academy. So she would have been reminded, and no doubt she will be playing with teammates of the highest standard. She's going to be playing week in, week out with some world-class players, and that can only help to benefit her game. No doubt it will help to push her to improve her all-round game, because as wonderful of a player that she is, as they say, there's always room for improvements. And in terms of the exposure there, I'm sure there's going to be even more media attention on her. She's moving to the Emirates Stadium, and I don't think we need to talk about the Emirates Stadium and what we've seen in its backing of women's football. But while we are on the topic, why not go ahead and give ourselves a friendly little reminder of what's going to be happening at the Emirates Stadium for our very own Taylor Hinds and Arsenal. Let me stick a pin in it. It does say here, can you guys see that? Yes, you can. It says here, all WSL matches to be played at the Emirates Stadium. We are proud to announce Emirates Stadium will host all 11 Barclays Women's Super League matches in the 2025-2026 season, reaffirming N5 as the main home of Arsenal women. The European champions hosted 9 WSL matches across the 2024-2025 season with an average attendance of 34,110. I think the capacity is 60,000 for the stadium and a high of 56,748 in the 5-0 win against North London rivals Tottenham Hotspurs in February. So we're going to in terms of that exposure there that I touched on, this is another thing that's going to expose her, into the media attention, potentially those sponsorships there, maybe better boot deals. She probably catch the eye of a couple other sponsors there outside of football. They probably see her and want to make her their poster girl, be it for fashion or whatever. Wouldn't be surprised if you see her signing deals with the likes of Burberry, for example, or your, Versace, those fashion brands. I'm sure they'll probably be keeping their eyes on her. Now, aside from that, you have to think about the professional development. The infrastructure at Arsenal is one of the best there is. Another infrastructure there, as it relates to training facilities, Tottenham. If you've never been to the Tottenham's training ground, you really are missing out. It is gorgeous. It is a beautiful training ground. Their stadium is beautiful as well. I mean, you can say these things because it's not like it's a lie. It's true. Doesn't really matter if they're a club that I'm not supposed to like. The fact of the matter is they have one of the best training ground in world football, one of the best in the country. Be interesting to see which club has the best training ground, because like I said, I've been privileged to have been at Tottenham Hotspur's training ground and Arsenal's as well, and they're a beautiful training ground. So back to the the professional development there. When you're at a club at Arsenal for their stature, obviously that comes with top tier training facilities, medical support, and you're in a highly professional environment, and this can obviously assist Hines with her continued development, both as a player and also as a person as well, to help maintain those peak performances. And I'm pretty sure that article, that announcement there from the club website, spoke about leadership. I can't remember if it was the manager Renee or someone else from the club, or maybe both, but nevertheless, even if they didn't say it, we do know that she does come with leadership. She's got that natural leadership experience, and she developed that to at her former club at Liverpool. We saw that she became the vice captain at while she was a former player of the Reds, and obviously that meant that she was one of their key leaders within the team. So this experience, I should think, will be invaluable at Arsenal, even if she isn't guaranteed to start week in week out, because like I said, the competition is fierce. I should think that as she should be able to contribute to the team's culture and also help to mentor those younger girls as well. And then you have to think about the financial benefit. I'm not going to be a nosy Rosie and try to look at people's players' salaries. That's one of the things that I actually don't do. I don't look at players' salaries. It's not really any of my business. But for conversation's sake, I should think that while it's probably, I'm not even sure if it's available. I think it's probably hard to find player salaries where women's football is concerned. But anyways, I'm not particularly interested in that. I think a move back to Arsenal, that homecoming move there, it should come with more of a lucrative contract and a better overall professional salary package than, in comparison to her last contract. That's some of the things there that you're going to be negotiating. If you are as good, if she is as good as Arsenal thinks that she is, then they need to put their money where their mouth is. And I'm sure that's a couple of the things there that would have been discussed in those contract negotiations. So is it a bad deal? Let me know in the comment section. The flip side to that is we have to think about those registering of those minutes there. At Liverpool, it's no secret that she was one of their key players. She was a consistent starter, a crucial player, as I said, week in, week out, week in, week out. I know why I struggled saying that. She made over 100 plus appearances there for for Liverpool, and at Arsenal, with a club, with a team that is highly competitive, filled with international players in its abundance. I think she might initially find herself, or just naturally, not even initially naturally find herself competing for minutes more so than she would have if she had stayed at Liverpool, right? But that's a gamble, that's a guarantee. If she's better than whoever is in front of her, then perhaps they have something to worry about and not her. While she does obviously come with those versatility there that was mentioned on the club website, it could also mean that for the time being, as she is new to the club, she could potentially mean that she is, for the maybe the first period of that settlement period there, that she might be used as a rotational player than a primary starter for a specific position. But I don't think that's going to last long because she's a quality player. So as I said, yes, it's going to be a case of competition is fierce for her and whoever teammate she's competing against, but same goes the other way for those teammates there. They definitely have something to ponder over. So it's a give and take. Then you have to think of the adaptation, the adapting to a new system, new environments. Yes, she is part of that Arsenal product, part of that Arsenal DNA, but much has changed from then till now. There's some work there for her to do in terms of being able to adjust to the club and the manager's demands. That you're coming into a team there that is the current European champions. So, she has to familiarize herself with usual stuff such as the tactical system there by Renee. It might be somewhat different to what she has experienced with Liverpool. So all of that could take some time there for her to fully integrate herself and understand the team's immediate playing styles. And she is what you want to call those blockbuster signings. There was so much being discussed about Taylor Hinds going back to Arsenal. I think she's a player there that all those clubs there in the WSL and elsewhere that would snap your hands off to sign there. So saying that to say you sign a player of her quality, her versatility, former Liverpool vice captain, there comes the pressure and expectation. Moving to a club like Arsenal naturally is going to come with immense pressure, irrespective of. It's going to come with pressure to perform. As I said, she's joining up with a team that is the current European champions. They're the champions of Europe, where the Champions League's concerned. So the expectation from the fans, the media, and the club itself is different to playing for Liverpool. You're playing for a team there in that right up there in the club announcement. I'm pretty sure it's my understanding from that website piece is that they're going for it all. They're going for it all. They want the WSL title. They want to clip Chelsea to the WSL title. I'm sure they're going to want to scoop up some domestic trophies as well. Wouldn't be surprised if it's all gone blazing in terms of winning it all. And Arsenal are not new to winning it all. They've done it before, and I'm sure there's an appetite there to want to do it again with this young crop of girls. So yeah, you've got the natural pressure and expectation, and we have to also ponder over the fact that she has left a leadership role with Liverpool, and she again where she was the vice captain. So while moving from to a bigger club is obviously a step up in terms of the competition there. I think it's also maybe again, like I said, for the first part of her return there to Arsenal, that there's no guarantee that there will be a leadership role where she's let's say a central figure to Arsenal. I think it might take some time to establish similar standing within the Arsenal squad. So and again, that's not something too much there for Hines to worry about. I would say her teammates need to worry about that as well. But I think that leadership there that I touched on, I think that's something that has come natural for her. So is this a good move, bad deal? Do let me know in the comment section. I'm going to stick a pin in it and look at what you guys are saying there in the in the comment section. Let's see what you guys are saying. Big up yourself. Cranky, big up yourself. I hope you are okay. 49 and please tell them again, Cranky. I hope you're well. Please do make sure you subscribe to Cranky Live. Like the gentleman said, guys, go ahead and like up the stream. It is not going to cost you a penny. I'm not really sure why people hesitate on liking the streams. I never really understand that, but it is what it is. Yes, and that's another player that I thought of as well. That is another player there that I most certainly thought of. So but again, it's a competition is good. Competition. Arsenal people, them rushing. And we have a lot to be thankful for. I don't think anyone can burst our bubble. And while I am talking about the homecoming there, quite obviously, I'm just wondering if there's anything I've missed with Taylor Hines. Oh, yes. I can't move on without reminding you all, in case you're wondering why she gone back to Arsenal. Look at that trophy cabinet there before I move on to my next transfer topic of conversation there. Look, but this is one of the reasons of many why she would have opted for a return to Arsenal instead of going elsewhere. European Women's Champions League winners 2 times. And this is what I'm talking about. Oh, okay. So this is what I'm talking about. This is what we're used to when we talk about Arsenal. Anita, Alex, Leanne, Rachel, diversity. That's what we're talking about. That's the Arsenal that we all knew and love. FA Women's Super League 3 times, FA Women's Premier League 12 times, FA Women's Cup winners 14 times, FA Women's League Cup winners 7 times, FA Women's Premier League Cup winners 10 times. See, diversity. The diversity there that we're talking about. FA Women's Community Shield winners 4 times plus 1, where they shared the trophy, and London County FA Women's Cup winners 10 times. So in case you're scratching your head and saying, why did she leave Liverpool? Quite simply, she's gone on to bigger and better things. Long may it's continue. And you know how it goes. Until next time, take care.
I'm John Barnes, and you're watching Tarawa TV with Crystal Davis.